country? Also doesn't apply. So don't do any of that stuff when you write the date in a formal business letter. Just get yourself in the habit so you know. Yes. Nope, just write the date. You don't have to write this down. Skip a line and lines up on the left-hand side again. The recipient's name, title, and address. The stuff in red, you don't need to write down. Where I wrote title and business / association. I just added those in.
On which side?
So you know. Right underneath the date, lined up on the left-hand side. So dates first, skip a line, right? Mr. Ramon Evans, principal, Lincoln Center of the Arts.
Supposed to write with his syllabus.
Say it again.
Supposed to write with his syllabus. Do it right to direction.
Nope, just write Mr. Ramon Evans from here to here, like you were addressing a letter to him. Principal, title, a person's title is always capitalized. Make sure you spell principal right. You can leave out the stuff in red, is what I'm saying.
We ain't got to teach people.
Nope, you only have to skip a line between the date and between Mr. Evans. You don't have to skip a line between every part of that address. No. Okay, when I said skip a line, it's only between the date and the address. Not between every part of the address. You can see that sign? That'll help you. The reason I put that in red is so you know if you were writing to 2711, the CEO of McDonald's instead of the principal of Lincoln Center of the Arts, you would know which part to switch up.
It should be a free burger day.
I agree.
Me too. Everybody gets that. Veggie.
Oh, no. I didn't even know that was
You know the good veggie burgers. Veggie burgers? I found one. Sorry, you better code.
Okay. Still writing this? Need more time?
I can't see.
Just keep on like
Between which part?
between Ramon Evans and, you know.
No. Just a line between the date and Mr. Ramon Evans.
No.
That whole section is together. So date, his name, his title, his address, and then you'll skip another line.
Oh. It's right there.
Bro, you just ripped my oh, you made my way from Ashley dog. Yes, dog. It's Ashley. You don't see that ass right there?
Okay, moving on.
Dang, dog. You just worked it.
Wait, go back.
John, get back in the classroom. John.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Speak now or forever. Hold your peace. Hold your peace. Just because you're a class that likes to know the why of things, I backed everything I did up. So, why put the address? Because if you're writing to someone in an office, oftentimes the person who's sorting the mail, if you're writing to someone in like a huge building, like if you were writing to the CEO of McDonald's, you would have someone who would be removing the letter from the envelope and sticking it in a pile for someone to read. So, making sure that in a building that might have 2 John Smiths, for example, you got the title and the address, so it gets to the right John Smith. Yes.
Is there like is he rich or something?
Who?
Dude that like own a McDonald's.
I'm sure he is.
I'm just saying, what if he owned that one McDonald's that would do like McDonald's?
I don't think that's.
Or is it one person that like made a bunch of them? Is everywhere?
There's someone who owns the franchise, and the franchise means that they own the rights to all McDonald's. Every different McDonald's has probably a store manager who probably also makes pretty decent money.
So a state fault that people are all these.
And then, yes, and then there's also, so while there's individual store managers, there's also going to be like a district. So
somebody can sue them.
McDonald's in the Midwest who stands for this. I don't know. He's pretty high up. on the hierarchy. You probably end up writing to the district McDonald's manager. All right. Okay, next thing. Skip a line from the address and write what is referred to as the greeting of the salutation, which is Dear Mr. Evans, with a colon and not a comma.
Wait a minute. Oh,
Dear Mr. Evans, colon, not a comma. I didn't know that either, actually. The reason, I know that the colon is kind of the standard convention for a formal letter. Ms. Conger claims that this piece of punctuation, the colon, is a stronger and more formal piece of punctuation than the comma, which I learned today myself. I just know that everything I read and saw has a colon for a business letter.
Oh, you have to write, right?
Yeah, just Dear Mr. Evans. Just so you see how it looks. Always more formal to do Dear and then never like Ramon Evans, just do Mr. Evans. Or Dear Principal Evans would even work. Hi, hello, save those for less formal. Said you could do them in an email, but a letter follows a different set of conventions. Okay, everyone has Dear Mr. Evans, colon, yes? Skip a line again. Okay, difference between letters and essays. In terms of formal letters, not a lot is different about the content, but you're not going to do little things like indent paragraphs in a letter. It's going to be all lined up, like in the example. You should be able to draw a line on the left-hand side, and all the first letters should line up. So, do not indent. Another thing about the letter, which some of you have been frustrated by, is how do we write these introductions? Basically, the reason I'm having you write 3 body paragraphs is because your intro and conclusion are pretty low-key. They're not very difficult to write. They're going to be less sentences. This opening section should take you 2, maybe 3 sentences. All it needs to do, so after Dear Mr. Evans, colon, skip a line, write opening paragraph or opening section, whatever you want to refer to it as. Yep, just so you know where it goes. Make sure you know not to indent it.
Skip a line and do it. Right.
Write opening paragraph and make sure that you know, so in parentheses or make little bullet points, however you want to do it, that the opening paragraph has to tell who you are and why you're writing. It has to give your position. What are you confused about?
I don't know what to write.
It will help you to look at the things I've highlighted in red if you're trying to figure out what to write.
Only the things in red.
Pretty much. I mean, you're paraphrasing my notes. Never write everything that I do. That's a clue for you because I write a lot of extra stuff that's not necessary. That's my style. All you need to know is that the opening paragraph is shorter than usual. And it's going to tell the person who you are and why you're writing. Yes.
So for your first opening paragraph, you have to use your position word.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Occasion position statements that you have learned in Step Up still stand. We're going to talk about this later in the week because there's some grammar that goes with it a little bit, but definitely still find your Step Up writing. Occasion, position, statement starters. Keep that in mind, yes.
Okay, so do we explain who we are first, or do we put the position word first?
I would first explain who you are. Say, I'm Brooklyn DeBoer. I am an 8th grader in 342 in Lincoln. Lays out kind of who you are, why you have authority to write on what you're going to, because you're a student here, you're in 8th grade. You have Ms. Conger, things like that. It's kind of set the scene for him. And then why you're writing, what specifically you want, your position. So that's why I had, instead of you just writing MP3 players, I said we should be able to listen to MP3 players whenever, during lunch or whatever your argument is. So the more specific you are with all of the T-chart stuff, the easier it's going to be when you write your letter. Everyone get opening paragraph right now. Okay. Still writing?
Yes.
Okay.